Hi, my name is Kelly Hood, and I'm a CMMC RP and cybersecurity engineer at Optic Cyber Solutions. As you get started with your CMMC program, one of the most important things to do is to properly identify and categorize your assets. Not all systems are created equal when it comes to handling controlled and classified information, or CUI, and federal contract information, FCI. To ensure the right level of protection, CMMC Level 2 has 5 distinct asset types, each with different security implications and compliance requirements. Classifying your systems correctly is critical for CMMC, and not having a clear understanding of your assets can lead not only to compliance problems, but security breaches. Here, I'd like to break down the 5 types of CMMC assets for a Level 2 certification, explaining their role, significance, and required protections to help you effectively define your CMMC boundary. The first asset type is a CUI asset. This is the asset that stores, processes, or transmits controlled and classified information. An example of this would be things like databases containing CUI, file servers, email systems handling CUI, or even research systems storing this DoD-sensitive data. And these are important because these are the assets that we're primarily focused on for a certification, because we want to protect this information on these systems. Next, we have security protection assets, or SPAs. And these are the assets that provide security functions to protect our CUI assets. But the SPAs don't actually store, process, or transmit CUI themselves. So these are things like our firewalls, intrusion detection prevention systems. So they're not storing and processing CUI, but they are supporting the systems that do. And they're important for maintaining the cybersecurity of your environment, and that's why they'll be assessed against the relevant security requirements. Now, which requirements are relevant will be up to the discretion of your assessor, so you'll want to be prepared for anything. Next, we have contractor risk managed assets, or CRMA. These are assets within your CMMC environment that are not intended to process, store, or transmit CUI, but could if someone makes an accident or breaks the rules. And that's why the contractor must accept and manage the associated risk. So even though they don't process CUI, they must still be identified and described in your system security plan, your SSP, and appropriate safeguards must be in place to prevent the exposure of CUI. So this could be things like workstations used by team members who aren't supposed to handle CUI or don't handle CUI, or it could even be an HR system that doesn't access or store CUI. So these assets are managed at the contractor's discretion and support the organization in achieving business goals. However, based on their proximity to CUI, they have a higher chance of accidentally having access to them. And so we need to manage them as contractor risk managed assets. Next, we have specialized assets. And these are assets that fall outside of the traditional IT systems, but still play a role in cybersecurity or business operations that use CUI. So it might be IoT devices, smart devices, security cameras, connected infrastructure, OT devices, the operational technology like industrial control systems, SCADA systems, or building automation, or even government property. Government furnished equipment, GFA, would also fall in this category as specialized assets. So this is important because organizations must determine how these assets interact with CUI and apply appropriate protections when needed. In some cases, it may be impossible to apply the CMMC requirements to these devices, but that's where we need to implement compensating controls or layered protections to make sure that we're still protecting them as best we can, even though these won't be assessed. And the last category is out-of-scope assets. These are assets that are completely separate from the CMMC environment. They do not and cannot process, store, or transmit CUI and do not impact security. Examples of these would be employee personal devices, break room appliances, or COTS products, non-work related systems. These are devices that are not on the CUI network or network segment. And these matter because since these assets have no role in handling CUI, they are excluded from CMMC requirements. So as we've discussed, properly classifying assets is a critical first step in preparing for CMMC certification. Without a clear understanding of what types of data your organization handles and where it resides, achieving compliance becomes a complicated mess. And so properly identifying and classifying your assets is essential for defining your CMMC scope. And organizations should ensure their CUI assets receive full security protections, protect their security-related systems, or SPAs, manage risk on non-CUI systems, CRMAs, within their CUI boundary, and evaluate specialized assets to determine how to achieve the CUI protections. And then also exclude those out-of-scope assets to streamline your compliance efforts. If you're unsure what types of data your organization manages, which assets fall within your CMMC boundary, or how to structure your CMMC strategy, Optic Cyber Solutions can help. Our team of CMMC certified assessors and certified professionals can work with you to identify and categorize your assets, assess security gaps, develop a streamlined compliance plan, and just prepare for a successful Level 2 assessment with confidence. So please feel free to get in touch today and ensure you're on the right track towards CMMC certification. I've included several resources here on the slide as well as in the video notes below. If you're just starting your CMMC journey and not sure where to start, you know your team doesn't have the time or expertise to get you ready, please feel free to reach out. I'd also encourage you to check out the other videos on this channel on the topic of CMMC, and I hope this video has helped you to better understand the CMMC asset types. Thanks for watching. Optic Cyber Solutions strives to help organizations identify and address their blind spots through our assessment, implementation, and advising services. For more information about Optic Cyber Solutions and our services, reach out at info@opticcyber.com or check out our website at opticcyber.com.